Chronicles of Yarnia, the podcast from Montclair's local yarn store. I am Jen.
I'm Kathleen.
And we are missing Amanda, who had a work.
She had an actual in-person meeting today.
An actual, look at her.
Meeting with humans.
Meeting with people. I was like, what?
She is going to make a short guest appearance later to tell you about her Saraya shawl, which we have here.
Exactly. So which I'm just going to
Yeah. She kind of set us up, and we talked about that a little bit, so she'll pop that in during
so you'll see her.
Finished objects, or the Saraya section, as it may be.
The Saraya section. But in the meantime, this is a podcast all about yarn and fiber and fun stuff like that, knitting, crocheting, sometimes embroidery, whatever you can do with yarn.
Yeah, yarny stuff.
Whatever you do with yarn.
Stuff.
And this is episode...
What do you think?
We're in the 70s. I know from our previously recorded segment that you'll see later that it's not 75.
That's correct. Not only that, it's lower than 75.
It's lower than 75. I feel like I'm on The Price is Right.
Yeah.
I am going to say 74.
Ooh. 72.
Dang it!
You'll hear later what we're going to do in episode
on
75.
The Price is Right.
I mean, me either. I always think I know.
I do love a Plinko, but no. And I could spin that wheel. Could totally spin that wheel. Love that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no.
Yeah, so it's episode 72. We're going to have a lovely giveaway in this episode.
Yeah, we got a good one.
Actually, we will also... Why don't we go ahead and remind people what our giveaway was from the last episode?
Yes!
But we are going to have to ask Amanda to pop the names in because we actually have 5 winners from the last episode.
Yep.
And I did not have time to pull 5 names last night and go to bed at a reasonable hour so that I could be here to podcast this
That
morning.
is totally fine. Plus, also, sometimes I feel like it's handier when it's, written on the screen, because then you can be like, oh my god, that's me! As opposed to being like, wait, what'd she say? And rewinding.
Well, but that also requires me giving Amanda a note that is clearly enough written. I think it was our last episode where I don't know, I wrote something that I thought was clear and it wasn't. So I will email her a list because we want to get your names right.
Kathleen's handwriting.
Well, all of our handwritings. I don't know. It's like mine has gotten.
My quick handwriting is terrible.
That's what it is. It's my quick handwriting. Often the really bad thing, I can't even read my own quick handwriting.
Oh, that's
which
bad.
means it's way too quick. It's like
I mean, I was an editor. My natural note-taking handwriting is terrible. That said, I was an editor for a very long time on paper. So I had to write things on paper, not
that people could,
pre-electronic editing.
Yeah.
So
back in the day when I did stuff like that too, when I had to make notes for people, like markup,
pristine,
beautiful.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because otherwise, the copy editors would stomp down the hall and be like, "What?
What do you expect us to do with this? What is this?"
Or worse, the designers would be like, "You editors are the worst," and I'd be like, "I love you, Nick," and then he'd forgive me.
Aw,
I know, I love my Nick. So our giveaway from last week was our new
pearl strings.
Pearl strings. You get to pick a color.
So we asked everybody what color they would choose, and it was very interesting. A lot of people had the thought that they would pick the color that they love, of course, and then other people had the thought that they would pick a contrasting color so that it's easier to see, which I like that. I like that a lot.
Too.
Yep. So we are actually almost sold out of the aqua already. That has been by far the most popular color. Very interesting.
I love the aqua.
Yeah. So we've got aqua, which I assume will probably be sold out of at the time that this goes up, but we will be getting more, and I think we'll probably add to our colors as well. I mean, I don't know. We were starting. I wanted to start with kind of a little variety. They've all been selling nicely.
And also, sometimes if you have too much choice, it's hard.
I totally see that every day in the store. Right? The things where we have a million options. We like to curate for you. That's part of what we do here. So we'll add a couple of more nice colors.
Exactly.
And we'll continue to make everybody happy, we hope.
So if you missed last episode, pearl strings are handy dandy little silicone tubes that pop onto your needle tips and you can slide your stitches on. And you hold them, to try them on, or just to hold them. And actually, you'll see them show up a couple of times this episode because I have some of my stuff on.
Cool.
Strings too.
Yes. And here's my Saraya on with the very long one. We got the sweater set, which we thought was super flexible, and it definitely works for a very large shawl.
Yeah.
This is, I've got plenty. I've got like an extra 2 feet here left over, but I was able to try the shawl on last night. So the sweater set has a 2.5 meter one, which is over 80 inches, and then 2 1 meter pieces, which are about 33 inches.
Yeah.
So, body and sleeves basically for any size, which we love.
Which is handy.
Yeah. So anyway, we gave away the pearl strings, and we will have, for every color, we will have a name of a winner.
Yes, so check it out.
If you're one of our winners, just email me at hello@shopyarnia.com with your mailing address, and I will get it right out to you as soon as possible.
They're awesome. I love the pearl strings.
They're really fun.
It's one of those super clever.
Well, everyone says either
useful.
Why didn't I think of this, or why hasn't this been around for years? Because it is so handy. It really is. Yeah.
And it's such a great thing.
And I love that the tins they come in screw on, so that you're not going to have
pop off.
Yeah, a whole thing in your bag.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of the way.
Awesome.
But yes, let us. If you are one of our winners, please do email me, and we'll get those out to you.
So in the meantime, what are we talking about
today? We usually start talking about finished objects.
Finished objects, there we go.
And other around town stuff. So actually one big thing around town today is the Board of Ed election today.
Yes, we have a Board of Education election, which is the first time that Montclair has had elections for the Board of Ed in a number of years. 40.
I wasn't even sure, if they ever had an elected board.
I don't know, because the busing court order was in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And so I believe I don't know if there was an elected Board of Ed before.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, very exciting.
Yeah, Montclair had been one of the only districts left in the state with an appointed board, appointed by the mayor, and just, we love a lot of things about our schools, but there definitely were some things that could have been improved, so it was time for this change.
So very exciting. After this, I'm going to go vote.
Me too.
And can just plug, it's important to vote in your local elections.
Absolutely.
Often, more so in your local area than in higher up ones.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, it's important to vote in every election. But really, local affects you a lot. More than you think.
And also, your vote actually counts more in a local election, because one of our council people who's really good about, is not necessarily a proponent for any of the candidates in this, but he's just reminding people to vote. He's like, some people win their seat by less than 100 votes. So that, when you see numbers like that, that really does tell you how much your vote matters.
Right, exactly. Your vote, your neighbor's vote, could tip some money over the top or what have you. So, so that's exciting today. Be going and voting later.
Where do you vote?
I vote at Buzz Aldrin Middle School. So, which is right around the corner. It's also where my son goes. Yeah. So, super handy. And he already informed me. He's like, "Mom, this is where you go." And I'm like, "Yes, I know. I've lived here a while."
I wonder if they're doing bake sales today.
I
doubt it.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's going to be a good turnout, given that this is...
I hope so. I hope there's a good turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of... This is where, I wish we were like Australia, where voting was mandatory.
Yeah.
Because it's just, the turnout is sad.
Yeah.
For
true.
Everything.
True.
For the most part. And,
yeah. So
me out.
I voted Edgemont, which is where Haley went to elementary school.
Oh.
So for me, it's always a nice reminiscence to go in there and see what's the same and see what's different.
I know.
See their rock wall and their gym.
Oh, I love their rock wall.
That they had installed, and then I think
do they use?
Insurance-wise, they're not allowed to use it.
Oh my God.
It's so sad.
That's so sad.
So sad. I don't know. Maybe they
bad.
use it during the summer. They don't do camps in the schools anymore in the summer.
They do.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah,
Are they back to it? They stopped for a while.
They stopped for a while, but the last couple of years they've done it.
So maybe they do. Mr. Silvera was the gym teacher there, and actually I think he still is, and he's wonderful.
Oh,
so I bet.
I love that.
Bet if they're doing camp there, he's got kids doing good active things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And then let's see, finished objects. I have no finished object, although I am wearing one of our store samples, the Garden State Shawl, which was one of our knit-alongs. Mm-hmm. And this is, I don't know who did this one.
Amanda.
Amanda did it.
Yeah.
So this is the Garden State Shawl, which is done in Madeline Tosh Merino Light, 2 skeins.
Yes.
This is 2 one-of-a-kind skeins, but we have ones that are similar colors.
Yep.
So super cute. It's got little crocheted flowers. It all represents New Jersey.
And it was a pattern done by a New Jersey design.
So the Wool Walk is coming up end of April. So you can check out all of the information at NewJerseyWoolWalk.com.
Yep.
.com.
I believe so.
And Kathleen has been on like the Wool Walk call, so it's going to be fun this year. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's always fun. It really is. It's so great to meet a lot of new people and see people that we only see like once or twice a year. So it's fun. And actually, one of the cool things that they're doing this year that's new is they're doing knit nights with different yarn stores. So we are co-hosting a knit night on March 21st, which is a Monday, which will be,
and it'll be on Zoom, so you can join from wherever.
Exactly. It'll, if you got our newsletter, there's a link in our newsletter. Jen put that in last week.
And you can also always go find our newsletter on our Facebook page.
Correct.
Shop Yarnia.
I always forget that.
There's a link there, usually every Monday morning, that you can click through and see what was in the newsletter that week. And if you haven't already signed up, sign up, because that's where you're going to find out all kinds of new stuff. That's our like primary form of, communication.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that'll be super fun, like that that kind of Zoom knit night, and like see folks, and
it's like 7 to 8:30 Eastern time.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's another opportunity. And actually, while we're talking about knit nights, we do have knit night in person every Wednesday in the store. I've been hosting those for, I don't know, like 9 months now or something. It was last summer that we started up. And actually, I think it's even more than that, because there was something that I saw. It was like April, maybe. It was.
I think so. That sounds about right.
Yeah, actually, because somebody came to our first one, and I know she bought some things then, and I was amazed. I looked back to see something, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was that long ago.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was May. It was May, actually.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And then we also have
our regular
Zoom
knit night every Wednesday.
On Wednesday. There's a nice little crew. Amanda hosts those, and I pop in occasionally, depending on what's going on with my children.
Yeah. So.
And if they can function. Because if they can't, then I'm not showing the world how non-functioning it is.
no need to share that with everyone, right?
No one needs to know. Yeah. You can literally just imagine children screaming in the background.
So lots of fun opportunities to get together and just spend time working on projects and talking about projects. And
even though we call it knit night, it doesn't...
all fiber crafts welcome.
All fiber crafts welcome.
Absolutely.
Like, I was working on, at the last knit night, I was working on making stitch markers. So,
that's definitely a fiber adjacent craft.
It's a fiber adjacent craft. And folks crochet and spin and whatever you want. Like, we are, we welcome any and all fiber crafts.
Yes. Yep.
So that'll be good.
Yeah. So.
Finished objects for you.
I actually have a couple of new ones, but I will mention what I'm wearing as well, because it is one of my favorites, and I made this a couple of... Actually, this was right before the pandemic started, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're probably right.
I think, so this is just over 2 years ago. It was February. Wow. It was February 2020 when I finished it. This is the Magnolia Cardigan by Camilla Vad in Lucky Tweed in the color tomato.
We love our Lucky Tweed.
We do love our Lucky Tweed. And this actually was the beginning of my love affair with Lucky Tweed.
That's right. That was
This is my first one that I made. And it's so funny because I don't usually use reds, but this is like a nice orangey red.
And it's got like orange flecks.
And it's got orange flecks.
It's a very Kathleen.
Yeah, it was funny. And it was one of those things too. I remember I had been eyeing it on the shelf and like, I need to figure out what to do with that. And then somebody came and bought the sweater's quantity of it. And I was like,
I need to do that.
So like, all right, Amanda, we need to order more Lucky Tweed and make sure there's an extra bag of tomato. And so as soon as it came in, I started the sweater. I mean, sometimes it's like the thing that people say, like, if you can't make a decision between two things, flip a coin and then see how you react. And, and if you're happy about it, you know that really is what you wanted to do. And if you're sad, you should do the other one.
You should do the other one.
Yeah. As soon as that Lucky Tweed was gone, I was like, I really, really, really want to make a sweater with that Lucky Tweed.
That should be my Lucky Tweed.
So, whoops. Yeah. I'm so sorry. All right.
It's funny. That's essentially how we decide on dinner every night. Jonathan is like, what about this? And I'm like, ugh. He's like, what about this? And I'm like, ugh. And he's like, this or this. And I'll be like, yeah, I don't know. And he's like, fine, we're having tacos. And I'm like, oh, okay, good.
Tacos sound good.
I'm like,
yeah,
poor Jonathan with my decision making.
For the first time in a long time, I got a box from Blue Apron yesterday, and it was so good. So yeah, while Haley was home, Haley is very picky about food. She is self-admittedly a super picky eater, and she also has some food issues that she can't eat things. Yeah. So I was gonna
say it's got to be hard with allergies.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's
probably good that you're picky.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
right.
But the pickiness is in addition to the stuff she can't eat. So it just narrows the
narrows your field even more.
So it wasn't really feasible to do anything like one of those meal kits when she was home, and it was fine because we cooked together and everything, but. Now that she's back at school and whatever, and I just said, and it was funny because for a while when she was back, I was like, all right, Jean, we're having steak, we're having scallops, we're having this, like all these things that she doesn't eat.
That she won't eat.
Yeah, won't or can't eat. And
or doesn't, I should say.
Yep. And so finally I kind of got my act together. I did some orders for Blue Apron. It was so nice to actually have like ingredients that someone else had procured, and open the little packages, and they actually have improved their recyclability. I know that was one thing that bothered Jean a lot. Like it's like there's so much packaging, there's so much waste and everything. But they've reduced a lot of that, and
that's great.
It was really fun. So I've got 2 more meals this week that I can do that way, and
Sometimes
it is funny, the little things. Yeah, I get so bored deciding what to make for dinner. I'm the only one in our house that does make those, that even...
Yeah. It's decision fatigue. And, like,
totally.
Well, totally a thing.
Between that and saying, oh, yeah, I want to make this, and you look and it's like, oh, wait, who finished the tortillas? You know, It's like the one thing that you need to make the thing you've now decided you want to make is the one thing that is no longer in your kitchen.
I am terrible at meal planning. I'm an excellent cook. I'm an excellent baker. I am terrible at meal planning. So left to my own devices, I'm either going to be like, we are going to have an elaborate meal because this is what I feel like, or we're going to have cereal, or like you have a choice of like, I feel like mashed potatoes, so I have mashed potatoes available. And if you don't like mashed potatoes, make yourself a peanut butter sandwich because I don't care. And so... Especially during the pandemic, Jonathan, my husband, took over the meal planning, which was the best thing in the world because he was just like,
"We can't have mashed potatoes."
He's like, "You can't just be like, I feel like having some green beans and like peanut butter toast." And I was like, "But I feel like having green beans and peanut butter toast." And he's like, "We're not all eating that." I'm like. But I mean, like, that covers all your food groups. Like, it's pretty good.
You got some protein in there, you got some carbs, you got some veggies.
Right, it's not a bad thing. And
that
he's
is
just
funny.
like, he's like, this is insane. And I was like, well, then you decide. And he took over. And it was an excellent thing. Except for now, he's like, I would like to give it back. And I was like, oh, no.
Some things don't revert.
You're funny.
I would like to give it back.
And you're like, no, because then we're going back to like peanut butter toast and green beans and maybe some mashed potatoes if you're lucky. Like, it's basically, I'm like, just tell, like, but I told him, I was like, listen, if you just plan it out and say, I'm like, don't even plan it out and tell me ahead of time. Just plan it out and be like, tonight is tacos. Can you make the tacos? I'll be like, all right, cool. But if you tell me ahead of time, I'll be like, oh, I don't feel like tacos tomorrow. Or like, let's have peanut butter toast and green beans. I mean, not together. You don't layer them. It's like you have peanut butter toast on the side, and then you have your green beans.
I must say that is a meal I have never had.
No, because it's just like, I'm like, I feel like peanut butter toast, but I need some vegetables. You know? So it's a sequential, not an all-on-one plate. Right? Usually it's like eating over the center.
So another fun way I think of meal planning is if you like put some of your favorite things on index cards, and we did that for a while.
That's a good idea.
And then I got into this thing because like I can't just leave well enough alone. It's like you know you can have index cards with everything, but then it's like all right. I kind of divided the index cards in thirds, and one part was the proteins, and one part was the carbs, and one part was the veggies.
That's
and
pretty
then,
good.
Yeah, it was a little crazy though.
It was like those
and then we stopped doing it. It was I kind of made me a little flip book. Yeah.
The problem I would have with that is that I would pick one and be like, no.
That's the other thing that kind of happened. So you know what? I have an idea for our giveaway question.
Yes.
What is your favorite way to do meal planning?
Oh,
isn't that a good one? Because obviously we need some more inspiration.
We need some inspiration, and this is the thing. I have friends who do like batch cook on Sundays, and I'm like, That's awesome to have that option, but like, what happens on Tuesday when you're like, I don't want that?
Right, exactly.
That's my problem. Is I'm always like, ugh.
Yeah, and that there's nothing worse than like someone having spent time and energy making something and then you don't want to eat it. It's like because they did spend their hard labor on that, and you want to have it on a night when you do want it.
Yeah,
there will be times when you enjoyed it. Yeah, I know. I'm not. I did the batch cooking thing. There actually used to be a I forget, like a small food place. There was one in Livingston where you would go and batch cook or you would assemble your ingredients in their premises. That's what you would do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or maybe it was even that you could batch cook there. It was a kind of a cool concept. I think it was a little bit before its time. Actually, it was when Haley was really little. Like she was 5, so it's got to be 15 years ago or more. And it was kind of fun. Like you went and you just, they had a bunch of recipes and you'd pick which ones you want to do. I think it was kind of like, it was like an early version of the meal kit.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. But the whole thing about like then spending the Sunday cooking, it's like, that's the other thing. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of times I am really tired when I get home because I leave here and then I go back on my computer at home and do another 2 hours worth of Yarnia work.
Stuff. There's always more Yarnia stuff.
There's more Yarnia stuff. But, so some nights it's like, let's go get pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Or taqueria, Haley's favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of, thank goodness, we have a lot of local pickup options.
Yeah, a lot of good takeout options, a lot of good delivery options.
But it's also not very good for my body to do that all the time. It's
hard. And
it's much better when you can kind of plan and make it. Like last night we had farro with zucchini and onions and seared salmon. It was delicious.
Sounds lovely, except for the salmon you don't
know. Oh, that's right, the fish.
Swap in chicken and we're all
there. You go. Exactly.
I do love farro, but this is the.
I like farro too. And do I ever buy farro on my own? No.
So you never buy farro on your own.
No.
Well, and this is the other thing is that like I like farro, I like quinoa, I like a lot of different grains and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Jonathan does not like farro, quinoa, anything that has particulate matter. He doesn't like hummus because like I would get from Marcel like every night.
The best hummus.
They are so
maybe
good. If you're ever in the Montclair area, go to Marcel. So their healthy mess salad.
It's on Valley Road. It is a little bit above Lorraine Avenue. It's like far uptown in Montclair.
So good.
The best.
The best pita, the best hummus. It is
you know what my favorite thing is?
Smooth and so good.
My first time I actually had breakfast out with one of my friends in the last couple of months. There's a salmon, I forget even what they call it. It's almost like a breakfast pizza.
Ooh.
Salmon again.
But I went to salmon. That's okay.
It was amazing. It's like I have to go. And when I came home and I told Jean, I'm like, we're gonna go there on Saturday.
Anything that they have there that has eggs, I don't know what they do. It's magic. Mm-hmm. Their egg sandwich with cheese and like this like tomatoey jam thing in a pita is. It's like
transcendent. Their food is so good. It is
so good.
It's crazy good. Yeah.
And the problem that I have with Marcel is every time I go, I'm like, do I get a healthy mess salad, which is delicious? Do I get a Jersey, which is a burrata tomato basil sandwich? So good. Or do I get the cheesy egg thing? And there are other things that are absolutely delicious. They have lamb meatballs. They have vegetarian stuff. Their breads are great. But I'm always like, I end up getting one of those 3 things. They're so good. Or just Max will just eat the hummus and pita. Yeah,
the hummus is amazing. It's so good.
And Jonathan doesn't like the hummus. Oh. But he doesn't like any hummus. So I'm like, it's a category.
I love hummus.
And not a specific thing.
Hummus is totally one of Haley's food groups.
It's so good. But she can't do sesame.
No, she can do sesame.
Oh, she can
She can't do quinoa.
She can't do quinoa.
Her allergist had never heard of another human allergic to quinoa.
Oh my god.
Isn't that bizarre?
She's a unique, delicate, dainty flower.
She's so sweet. And
Yes,
she has
Haley.
her food issues. So
we digressed on the food thing. Yeah. So tell us how you do your meal planning. We'll get some ideas.
Either how you do your meal planning or what is your best meal planning tip to like keep things interesting, keep your people satisfied, keep yourself satisfied.
Right.
All of those important things.
I get bored so easily. Yeah. It's totally undiagnosed ADHD. Like it's 100%. I know this. But like, it's just I torment poor Jonathan. Yeah. So, should we say what they're gonna win?
Yes. So we should say what they're gonna win.
Yes, we should say what they're gonna win because this is a good one.
It's a really good one. The reason that you want to tell us this so that you can help us and help your fellow watchers, we are giving away a copy of Worsted, the book by Amy of La Bien-Aimée. And for a long time, you heard us talk about how we had the Saraya kits and we only had enough books to go with the kits. We finally have gotten more books.
We got our shipment!
Yay! So we have books. You can come to the store and get them. You can order them online. Or if you are our lucky winner, we will draw one comment.
Leave your meal planning tip and you too.
From those who answer our question.
Yeah.
And somebody will get a copy of this book.
And if you don't win the copy of the book, we thank you for your meal planning tip in advance.
Absolutely.
And you can order it's available on our website.
It is.
Yeah.
So it includes...
These patterns are so beautiful. And I have to say, like, I mean, again, I worked in editorial and books for years. That was my main career. Like, these books are beautifully produced.
They're really nice.
They're really stunning.
Magazine.
Like, books is object. This is like a gorgeous one.
Yep. The next one I want to make once we get our Corey Worsted is Stratified.
Oh.
It's really beautiful, and the designer of that one is Tiff Nealon. Who I think she's in Connecticut. She's kind of local-ish to us.
And it's like a color block stripy shawl.
Sweater.
Sweater.
Yeah,
sorry. Is that the one
a pullover.
What's on the cover?
That is Stephen West's shawl. Yeah, so there are patterns by Stephen West, Andrew Mowry, Our Dear Seisha, Nora Gahn, Nancy Marchant, Sylvia Watts-Cherry, who Amanda's The Vest is designed by that Amanda's making. Yep. And others. And they're all done in worsted. And what else was I going to say?
They're designed for the Corey Worsted from Rob Anime, but that doesn't mean you can't use another worsted. Just saying.
Yep. So.
But the Corey Worsted is...
It's delicious, and you will hear when we are able to stock it fully.
We still have a little bit left, don't we?
We have 2 kits.
We have 2 kits left. So 2 kits of 5 skeins. So if those are...
So if there's something, that you wanted to make that would work with that,
you could absolutely do that.
Yeah, and they're on our website, and they're not out in the store anymore, but they are available in the store as well. So shall we talk really quickly about shawls?
Yes, let's talk about shawls, because I don't have one and I'm feeling left out.
Now you can make one.
Look at those.
So pretty.
Yay, I'm so happy with it. So I finished the Saraya by Saysha Greene. It is
so gorgeous.
Brilliant designer. Amazing colleague. We're so lucky to have Saysha at our store, right? We were talking about this shawl with her because we finished up the knit-along in-person sessions. We've been having a knit-along for this shawl for about a month.
Every other week, we had 3
sessions. So we had 3 sessions.
So pretty.
We finished up the last one, and I was saying I don't have any cabled shawls. And she was like, that's because there really aren't any.
That's one of the reasons she did a cabled shawl.
There aren't very many.
Yeah. But look at that. Isn't that cool? And I love
pretty.
how it really shows up on the
It really
screen
does.
here.
So this is the color Madeline.
This is Madeline in the
Corey Worsted. Which we don't have right now, but we will be getting back.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
We'll let you know. Don't worry. We will let you know.
You'll hear all about it.
You'll hear the squeals.
Oh, this
doesn't it feel
gorgeous.
It does. It feels really great. Yeah.
So I blocked this yesterday. I did what you said and squeezed like as much water out of it as I could.
Because really, when I blocked my swatch on this, it dried like in no time. It really did. It really, as long as you squish that water.
It's the benefit of working when it's still cold and dry outside.
Yeah, true.
Although yesterday wasn't cold.
Yesterday was
I blocked Jean's sweater 2 nights ago, and then what did it do yesterday? It rained, so it reabsorbed all the water that had left it. So I had to squish it again. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I had so much fun with this. The old shale on the end went so fast. Like I finished this in a day.
It's a fun thing.
Old shale.
And I did what's it have? Icelandic bind off.
Oh yes,
Make a nice,
which was really cool and
nice,
substantial but stretchy edge.
Yeah. And if you follow us on Instagram, you saw my post at the beginning of yesterday, which was Monday.
Right.
That was like, it was a poll. Will I make it? Won't I make it? Because I had like this much to go. I thought for sure I wouldn't.
That's how much I've got left of ball 3 where I am right now. Yeah.
I had, but it was less than that, I think.
Was it?
My gosh,
wow.
really?
Wow.
And I had like the whole bind off to do. And I thought for sure there was no way I was going to make it. 69% of you guys thought I was going to make it.
Love your
very
confidence.
Positive. Yeah, thanks for the positivity.
15 inches left, people. 15 inches left.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, I had another skein because the kits were 5 skeins and I only used 4.
But well, and that's exactly what, like Saysha talked about on our last get together. basically you can't, she used exactly 4. You can't sell it as a kit of 4 because then there will be people that run out.
Well,
and that's not
anyone
good.
with a gauge a millimeter bigger than mine is going to run out.
So, yeah, like I'm like a loose knitter. I would probably need the 4.
I'm probably going to go into my 5th skein.
I just love it so much.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. And now I really can't wait to finish mine.
It's so pretty.
I'm through 2 repeats of the giant squishy cables right now.
Yeah.
And I put it on my pearl strings. So
look at that. What a great idea.
So we got the sweater set of those.
But look how big this is.
So nice and long.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that was so good about actually putting it on here, I could literally try it on and see because I was thinking about whether I wanted to do the 3rd set of cables, the 3rd repeat of the cables. And Saysha and I talked about it the other day, and she's like, yeah, I think you probably should do it. And I was measuring what the distance is already. I'm pretty close to the finished measurement, but it is going to pull up as it pulls out.
Yeah.
So I am, and now trying it on, I'm like, I can see, because it's sitting like here on my shoulders, not here, where yours is now. So
yeah, well, you can try mine on too.
Yeah, exactly. Now I really can.
Oh, exactly. I love it.
But so
I agree.
Fun.
I was
Such
thinking about that
pattern
as I was
to work
doing
on.
my 3rd one because actually the 3rd repeat goes faster because like it's in your head already.
Yeah, you really know it.
You already know it.
So
I did I've got my very color-coded stitch markers to the point that
I love color coding.
My middle repeat of the cables is a different color so that I know that I've hit the middle. Because isn't that silly? It's silly, but it's helpful.
No, it's like a mental help.
It is because
so
literally until I did that, every time I got to like the 3rd or the 4th, I was like, am I at the middle yet? Am I at the middle yet?
Right.
And now I just know.
It's both the anticipatory and then also you realize like a repeat later that you've blown through it and been like,
see, I was at the middle of it, and you just
I knew I was
for other things.
Yes,
I love this use of pearl strings. Oh, you just knotted it at the end.
I just knotted it, and that was the beginning. Smart. This is the it's way long. I figured it was not going to pull out.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible.
Yeah, so later today I'll go back and put it on my needles and keep knitting.
I was happy with how I ended up blocking these too because they didn't end up too pointy. I actually threaded these on my wires and threaded them like through 3 holes.
So not just one.
So it wasn't point. Just like one point of pin pulling out. It was like on the whole edge of it. And it turned out, I think,
nice.
I was going to ask you, how did you block it?
Yeah, it's like scalloped.
I like the scallop rather than like the pinpoint. I mean, you could with old Shawl, you could pinpoint it.
You can, if you will.
So it's personal preference.
That one was a little bit more.
Yeah, but.
Well, the other thing
the other ones turned out really well.
Saysha mentioned during the knit night was, if you want them to be curved and not pointy, another way to do it, and especially if you don't have blocking wires, pin it, and then before it is completely dry, let it go.
Sorry, Jen.
So that it's got some of that extension, but it doesn't stay full pointy.
Yeah,
so that's another smart. Really good tip.
Because it'll spring back.
Exactly. So you've got some of that. You've got the lace opened by pinning it from the beginning, but then it doesn't.
The other thing
that takes more paying attention. I pinned this in Teddy's room because when I was washing it, it did release some color. A little bit.
This
is a very saturated.
It's such a saturated color.
I was going to say, you have the most
magenta often releases magenta and teal.
Purples in general. Yeah, I feel like.
Magentas and teals too, I find release a lot.
Teals really do.
Which is fine, and it's not like your color is washing out. It's just like the part that didn't get bonded to the wool.
Right.
Okay, if you get your hair dyed, the same thing happens, right? Like your hair color doesn't go away; it just comes off on your towels. Use brown towels for the first few days. Just saying. So similarly, I didn't want to block it on my living room floor, which I thought about because then I could have a magenta spot in the middle of my living room floor, which is a wool carpet.
Yeah, not a good idea.
That's right.
That wool could take that excess dye.
Yes, the wool can take the excess dye. That would be bad. So Teddy has like a cheap rug in his room from Home Depot or something. I was like, whatever. And it's dark turquoise, so even if it absorbed a little color, I don't care.
You really couldn't tell.
And whatever, it's like a $40 rug. So that's what I blocked it on, but that means I could not go back in and take the pins out on the edges because I had blocked it and then put him to sleep.
And did it dry overnight?
It did.
I
It
bet
dried
did.
overnight.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I did what
yeah,
you
'cause
said.
it was
Like
it was
really
yesterday.
squeezed it all out.
Yeah.
I
Step on it.
I love it.
Learn from Jen.
Roll
Step
up
on
the
that
towel. Step on that towel.
Yeah.
Smush, smush, smush.
Walk across, stack.
We did all my ends except for that little one, just to show you.
Well, you need to show. I mean, because that is impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
crazy.
the other way to block shawls if you don't have a set of blocking wires, especially with something like this, is that you can use like a cotton crochet thread and like run it through
on this top line here.
Run it through the top line straight and pin that out. And then on this bottom line, you could do the same thing that Amanda did. Run it through like the bottom 3 stitches and the bottom 3 stitches, and then you can pin each one.
Those spots.
And that'll keep it.
That would work really well.
Yeah. That's how I used to do it pre-blocking wires.
You were the first person that introduced me to blocking wires.
Love
that was
blocking
like
wires.
almost the day we met.
Yes, it was because I was done with my shawl.
Oh, how funny!
Yeah,
because I had a big circular blanket I was giving to my friend, and I was like, "How the heck am I going to block this?" And just like blocking wires.
And I think I had them in the back of my car.
Oh, how funny!
Because I had just picked them up from a friend of mine who had borrowed them from me.
So you know what? This reminds me of something that we have said a couple of times we're going to do and we haven't done, and I think we should do it for our 75th episode.
Yes.
Whoops. Sorry. That's Haley's new text tone.
Oh, I like
it comes through. It's Harry Styles. It comes through even when it's silent, of course. She's on the emergency. She's the only one. But
sorry, Jean.
No, I get Jean too. But yes, we said we were talking about how we started. So that kind of is
that'll be our
75th. 75th. I'm putting it on the calendar so we do not forget, because I've tried reminding us in several ways.
We still forget.
Speaking of calendars,
we also have to talk about this yarn behind us one of these days. That was another request.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that both on the 75th, because it's been our backdrop for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of calendars,
I have a meeting.
You got to run
in 3 minutes, so I got to go. But I will leave my Saraya.
Yeah, leave it there.
It's so pretty.
Beautiful.
I will not spill coffee on it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So we kind of digressed on the whole food thing, which was kind of fun, and I'm looking forward to hearing what people think.
Me too. Give me some ideas.
Yeah. So, but let's go back to finished objects.
Yes.
I actually do have some.
Ooh.
Yeah. Last time I think I had 4 whips. Right.
I have not.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think last time was like all I cast on everything. So, I finished, shortly after our last episode, I finished my Prosecco hat.
I love it.
And I call it my Goldilocks Prosecco because it is the 3rd one I made.
And it's
the first one was too small.
Right.
The second one was too big, and it is just right.
It is just right. It's so pretty. That's such a good color combo.
So squishy and fun. And it looks great with, it looks great with my coat, which is just slightly lighter than that shade of gold. So, and I always do try to put all my notes on Ravelry. My Ravelry name is Vandy. So you can, Vandie.
Mine is Jabo. I often voice to text dictate.
Yes,
so
it can be very amusing.
It's, yeah.
I love it. I play the guessing game of Jen. What did you mean here?
Right. Or my spelling is atrocious, or my notes are in like a code that only I can understand. Yeah. But if you ever have a question, feel free to Rav message. This is done in
Woolfolk Far.
And the pattern is by
Amanda. And it is the Prosecco hat, which you have seen here before. So, and it takes less than a skein of each of these. I'm sure I could make another hat with a different
mix
combo.
The color combos up. Like use a gray background and the other. And that's the nice thing. You can make a whole family of Prosecco hats or the mitts.
Or the mitts or the
cowl.
Yep. Though I've decided I really don't wear cowls. I'm as much as I look at cowls and love them, I never reach for them. So
it's so funny because I totally wear cowls.
But because you wear a jacket and then you'll wear like a cowl with it. I wear a coat and a hat and I'm much more like I bundle up that way. But whatever. So the other thing I finished, back to Lucky Tweed, is Jean's sweater.
Yay!
And actually, I'm gonna go home and give it to him. Maybe he'll wear it when we go vote.
Oh,
Because it's chilly today. It's in the 30s. You want to hold the other side?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is I'm calling it the Helix. It is basically a Felix with I subbed in. Yep, a Felix for him. I subbed in different raglans. I didn't think he'd like the lacy detail. He's not a very lacy guy.
Kind of guy.
He's like a khakis and button down kind of guy. So,
and there are guys who are lacy kind of guys, in which case I say rock that Felix.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yep. So I substituted, since I had it, I just used the raglans and the neck short rows from the avalanche pattern.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I had also done it in Lucky Tweed in kind of the same gauge, so that's why I figured I knew exactly what I needed to do by
it's a good swap
mashing up those patterns. And I believe I did put that in my Notes on Ravelry as well.
Isn't it nice? I love a Lucky Tweed sweater.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, it's the best. It's so fun.
Just a nice classic.
Yep.
This color is gorgeous.
Did the little thing at the back of the neck so he doesn't wear it backwards.
I do this in sweaters, mark the back of your neck with contrasting yarn, because otherwise I will be like 3/4 of the way through the day being like, seriously, why is it fitting so weird? I have it on backwards. Or the one time that we were teaching an intermediate class here and I had a sweater on and then the shirt underneath I had on inside out and backwards. And I was like, what the... It's because it was tagless.
And so obviously you got dressed before you had any coffee. So,
clearly. I really need the coffee before I get dressed.
Yeah, me too. I often do that. I go down, feed Anna. She's been barking in the morning lately too. Yeah, like when it gets light out because she wants to keep the floor clean. She gets a treat if she has a clean floor in the morning.
Oh,
so she's like working for that treat.
Good girl. But she's also like, I got to pee and I see sun.
Yeah.
But you're like, it's too early.
It's too early, yeah. I can't wait till Haley comes home because she sleeps with Haley.
Oh, good. So she'll wake Haley up.
She does. That's actually the one thing that's not
Sorry, Haley.
Haley needs her sleep. So, all right. So anyway,
it's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Felix for him, Helix, Lucky Tweed for Jean. So we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't lose this one.
He best not.
I think he understands.
I hope.
It's been a long time since he's had a sweater. So, yeah. So
precious. It's a precious sweater. That's great. You have a lot of finished objects.
That's the end of the finished objects.
I got none. I'm in progress with...
Yeah.
I'm not even in progress with a lot of things. I'm just in progress with a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to focus, which is...
So, why don't we talk about what you are working on? Because that is a good lead-in.
So, it is a good lead-in because this is my Felix, yes, it's my Felix, which I have to mark the back because I already can't tell. I mean, I'll be able to tell when I'm done because I did short rows. So, I'm doing this in the La Bien-Aimée Cori Confetti, which is only available on La Bien-Aimé's website.
Mm-hmm. It's always limited edition.
It's always limited edition.
This color is not currently available.
No, this is Greybow 2. My guess is like the first 2 Greybows sold out, so I'm sure she'll end up doing another Greybow.
Yeah.
Right now, the color that she has on her website, I believe, is closer to
it's framboise. It's really pretty. It's a raspberry. It's a more pinky. A little lighter, pinky, brighter than that. It is beautiful. It's so pretty.
There we go. I had a little loose stitch that I think a cat had helped with. So this is Greybow. It's so Felix. Fun. It's just done as I did my last one, kind of as written. I think the only modification I made is I cast on fewer stitches in the underarm. Mm-hmm. And I kind of always do that mostly because it depends on the sweater. Frankly, like I cast on 12 stitches instead of 15. Whatever.
So not a huge difference.
So I have divided for my sleeves. So my sleeves are hanging out on a waist yarn. And now I'm on the body. So the body is just round and round. She goes. And this is a good mindless project. Like all of the details are in the raglans, which and honestly after a little while they become comparatively mindless. But I needed this because I needed a contrast to my sweater class project.
How could I forget?
Which is the Retro Pullover by Stephannie Tallent. Oh, that's where I put these guys. Sorry, we just had class on Sunday, and I clearly have 2 double-pointed needles marking off the center to demonstrate something. So let me shove those in here because those go back in. Otherwise, I will lose them. So here it is. I was demonstrating sleeve cap, and this is. I am in the round, but not yet at my decreases for the sleeve, but I wanted to show them, essentially show the students basically how to do the sleeve cap, which is from the top down in short rows. And see, look, all the neat little wraps.
Beautiful.
It's a tidy little seam. And
Very
I
nice.
have my pearl strings. It's on hold. So right now I'm toggling between the body, which takes a long time to go around. And I'm about to do the second sleeve cap. Because basically, once I do the second sleeve cap, I'm just going to pick up the stitches and do my short rows until I get to in the round, because the first sleeve cap did not take that long. And then I will use my other pearl strings and I'll put the sleeves on hold, and then I'll work on the body a bit, and that way I can actually toggle between. I have two, I broke the yarn on this side so I could start it on this side. But I'll have two skeins of yarn attached, one for the body and one for the sleeve, and that way I can go back and forth depending on my level of like how much can I focus and how much time do I have, because the sleeves will go quicker. There's one cable plus moss stitch as opposed to like 30 million cables.
Cables front and back.
Cables front and back. So we only have one more class left on this.
Oh my goodness, wow.
I know. So I was like, guys, all of the hard work on the sweater is this part. Because everything else, like sleeves are sleeves, right? And we already went through like how to do our sleeves and like how to adjust your sleeves. And, you know, once you do that, you're kind of like, okay, this is sleeves.
You just work till,
And the body is just go round. Keep going round. Keep going around. So the next class, the last class, sad, we'll go over things like bind-offs, blocking, any additional questions that they have. There's a couple of folks who are steeking theirs. They're making it into a cardigan.
Very nice.
And so I already went through a little bit how to reinforce a steek for them, just as general information, but like they're like, some of them are like, maybe we need some hand holding in person. I was like, you're gonna cut it. Love it.
You can do it. You can do it.
But I got to start thinking about what the spring sweater is going to be.
I just was going to say. You know, next episode we can talk about some of our new spring yarns. Amanda did just drop off. She brought in a couple of boxes. It was funny.
That's what I'm going to have to look at too.
Sunday at about 6 o'clock, I had just gone grocery shopping and I stopped by here and I got to the back door and the lights are on. I'm like, the lights are on. And Amanda had just gotten here too to drop off some yarn. So we've been doing a lot of shipping. Actually, one of the things we'll talk about, it's new in store. And we're doing another knit along with Knitty Natty with Natalie of Love and Stitches on a shawl, the Out-Stranding shawl. We'll show you some of those kits, but we've been so busy like getting the kits together and shipping the kits that we don't really have time to bring in the spring yarn yet. And it's mid-March. It's early enough. We're good. Yeah. But yes, you definitely should take a look at some of the new stuff.
Yeah, you should take a look at the new stuff and
help think about that. And I definitely, my goal is to do one spring summer sweater every year. Yeah, because I think that's a good way to, like, you know, I've got sweaters to wear all winter, sweaters and shawls. I literally could wear a different thing every day for a month, I'm sure. Yeah. But summer, I don't. I have like 3 or 4. So I think, you know, but adding one in every year is a good way to do that.
Well, and I always like, I mean, there's something very nice about a summer sweater that if it has like short sleeves, because then like, oh, look. I just have the sleeves to do. Wait, I'm done.
Exactly.
You're like, yay, I'm done. It's very like, it's a nice like rest, you know? And so I got to figure out like what level kind of to do. Like, cause this one, the retro pullover was a hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was, this is an advanced sweater.
Yeah, for
sure. Lots of stuff going on, lots of construction going on. It's definitely like a challenge and a push. Which, you know, I always enjoy that, but like...
But maybe people don't want that twice in a row.
I don't think twice in a row.
I think that starts to feel a little bit like...
It's too much brainwaves for me. Plus, I gotta finish this dang thing.
Right, exactly. And so do a lot of your students.
And so do the students.
Yeah, actually, a couple of folks who've been coming to Knit Night have really been making amazing progress.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, there are a couple of folks where I was like, dang, you're done with the body?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Not done with the body.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fast, but, like, I mean, it also just depends on, like, what you have going on.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Like, life happens, and sometimes you gotta catch up.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I have going on, but that's why I'm working on this one, because I can just do this.
Mm-hmm. And what was
have to worry about it.
What was the one that you worked on last year again?
So last spring we did the Aliso Creek top, which I did in Summer Solstice, which is a yarn that we have a couple of colors coming in.
Yep. They've
which
some
is
has
such
come.
a nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice weight yarn. It's a cute top. That was also a bit of a challenge because it was a charted yoke with increases in the yoke.
But I love
nice.
my charts.
I know.
I chart everything. It's like if it's not charted, I will chart it.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility, and we have gotten some of the Summer Solstice. The other one that's coming in is Mojave. We ordered Mojave. So that's something else we should think about.
That's a good option.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk some more about works in progress.
Yes. Let's see your works in progress.
You saw my work in progress, my Saraya, while Amanda was talking about her finished Saraya.
Yeah.
So here's another peek
Saraya
at that.
section.
Love it in the Saraya section, exactly. The other thing I have been working on is I started just playing around a little bit with the pattern that we are doing in the Yarnia 11 Stitches knit along, which is called Out-Stranding. Exactly.
Who's that? That is by
Christie Archer.
Nice.
Of Christie Archer Designs. So, so you can either use some of the kits that we'll show you in a little bit, or you can, find one yarn in your stash that you think would be great for this and mix it with other things from here, or your local yarn store if you're not local to us. Or do as one of our friends did the other day and send us a picture of yarn that she had that she would love to use for it, and Amanda put together some really nice options.
It's a 3-color shawl, but and
it's
mini skeins.
It's 3 or more actually. So look how fun I started it, and I'm doing like a little baby version.
I love it.
Oh, maybe I can make it into a shawl for Anna. Actually, it's smaller than Anna. I don't know. We'll put it on a teddy bear or something.
Depends on how she wraps it.
Yeah. So, basically you want a lighter color probably for the body. There's, and again, I keep talking about these kits. We'll show them to you very soon. But, we'll get out our...
And that's the 11 Stitches colorway, right?
Yeah, this
that's
is like the signature
Yarnia
and 11 Stitches colorway.
I love it.
Whoops.
So these kits we put together in Madeline Tosh, either Tosh Merino Light or Tosh Sock.
Tosh Sock. And this one happens to be Tosh Socks. We've got Modern Fair Isle, Geranium for 11 Stitches, and Grapefruit for Yarnia.
It's such a pretty...
Isn't that fun?
Springy colorway. Like, I love this.
So my thought on this is, and in the mini version, there are 9 stripes in the full-size version. I'm doing 3 stripes for my mini, so I'm doing a pink, a grapefruit, a pink, and then for Yarnia, I'm going to bind off in the grapefruit.
Nice.
But I'm sure Natalie is going to bind off in the pink. So, so it'll be fun. I will make this as a full-size sample, but I just wanted to try out all the different techniques in the pattern.
Yeah.
So that I can answer questions for people.
But I also kind of like it as like a little mini shawl, because we could like pin it up and be like, this is the 11 Stitches, like Yarnia knit along, like baby.
It's going to be fun. So, so we've got 6 kits. We've actually already sold out of 2 color combos, which is amazing. I did talk to Mad Tosh yesterday. It sounds like they can accommodate us to do some more yarn, because basically what we're doing is when you order a kit from us, you're getting 1 full-size skein, and then we are splitting the 2 accents, because you only need about 200, you need less than 200 grams.
Yeah.
So by doing it like this, you can alternate your accent colors between these 2 and still have enough to finish off in one of the colors.
Perfect.
And you'll have a little bit left. You could definitely do 1 color as the main color, 1 as the first accent for all of the little dashes, and 1 for your seed stitch edging. There are different ways you can play with it, but
so many different ways to put it together.
But rather than do kits of 3 full skeins, which is quite expensive, we decided to break them up. And by selling the mini skeins, it definitely makes it more affordable for people.
Yeah, definitely more accessible. And this is the thing, like you could also like get a kit, and then if you have any like scrappies that go
that
with
you
it,
think would work. I
you
know.
could like throw those in.
I think
that could be really fun.
You know, it would look so fun with this aqua. Wouldn't that be so cute?
Aqua would
and it's
totally.
kind of, it's so funny. That was how I sort of picked these colors too. It's
I
just,
love it.
well, they're some of our most popular colors. So
Yeah.
you definitely, or a light green would be really fun in there.
Ooh,
Yeah,
and you could
a lot of people have
if
scraps
you have
around.
scraps, you could also pull from the
Yeah,
speckle.
exactly. So, yep. So that is one thing I'm working on right now. This should be done any minute.
Should we show the kits now? While we're
Yeah,
while we're
let's
talking
go
about it?
ahead and show the kits and I am going to start on a store sample for Yarnia of the full thing. I did just want to play with it a little bit first.
Yeah. So this is the Yarnia and Love and Stitches colorway, in the Madeline Tash sock.
Yep. And that's the one that we have the most of.
Yeah, we have a lot of
figured
this.
that would be the biggest seller. So
Because it's so pretty and fun and springy,
and it's like the perfect kind of combo of both of our
I love
our
it.
looks. We're gonna hold that one. I'm gonna show you all of the Tash sock first.
Yeah, let's go for the Tash sock. So like the bases are different, and they kind of have a slightly different drape. But I'll say this, like I would pick by color. Like
Absolutely.
They're all lovely to wear.
So
this is so pretty.
excuse me. This is now neutrals. This is the one I'm going to do for myself, not for the store sample.
Yeah.
So the main color is paper, and then glazed pecan and great gray owl,
which is such a pretty like neutral wherever.
Yeah.
Wherever.
And again, I definitely see myself like starting with the gray for the dots, and then alternating and finishing with the gold. That's well.
I mean, that's very you.
Where's my hat?
I know, right?
So different.
Gray bow. Or not Grey Bow, I'm sorry.
Grello.
Grello.
I am Ms. Grello, definitely.
You are Ms. Grello.
So
Ain't nothing wrong with Grello.
No.
I love a Grello.
I always love to get Grello.
I can't wear yellow, but like I like it as a pop.
Yeah.
So like
it works as something like that. Yeah, and that's
totally
certainly and also this would be really nice with the gray as the edging if somebody's more into the gray and the
I would do it.
That's how you would do it.
That's totally.
This one I called Whiskey Sour. So this is Librarian's Dream plus Tart, which is one of the all-time bestsellers of Mad Touch.
Such a pretty.
And again, a red I can wear. It's like and a red I think almost anyone can wear.
Well, I can wear this too, and I can't wear like.
Yeah. I don't wear a lot of reds. But...
I'm not a very warm toned person, but like this is such a perfect red for so many people.
It's so great. And then Whiskey Barrel is the third on that.
I love that Whiskey Barrel.
And so if I do make 3, I will make this one as well.
Yeah.
So
this is so beautiful. This is such like a good autumnal.
Exactly.
Palette.
I think this is going to be like a nice all year round.
Yeah, this is totally a year round.
This is very autumnal.
Wear with neutrals.
Yep. And then the one that we still have remaining, and this we haven't even in the Tosh Merino Light, we haven't wound one of these kits yet. This is Passionate. So 11 Light is the main and lightest color. Elizabeth Taylor is the medium.
It's perfect.
And Medieval is the darkest purple. So
such a pretty.
We do have a couple of orders for this. I'll stay a little bit today.
Our purple people.
Yes, exactly. And we know you're out there. I am a part-time purple person. I used to wear a ton of purple. I think my Ravelry actually still says purple is one of my favorite colors, which has been so long since I've done it a lot. But
so the ones that we're currently out of, but may be able to get back in stock,
I think we will.
Check back.
I think we will.
Yes.
This one is Isn't It Romantic? And this was Amanda's pick.
Yes.
So this is antique linen. This is this is a copper. What was that one again?
So it's got copper sparkle threaded through it.
It's copper pink. It's the Mad Touch color copper pink, but it's also got copper stellina in it, which is really, really pretty.
Sparkly.
And this is Rocinante, which I almost wore my Rocinante sweater
Rocinante
today.
is such
That's
a gorgeous
another
color.
one of those. It's like once people know it, they want to use it all the time. Yeah. It's really beautiful.
By the way, the Passionate is in the Tosh Merino Light, as is
Isn't It Romantic?
Isn't It Romantic?
And then the last one is, and this one is also currently sold out, but I'm 90% sure we can, because
it's blues.
Well, because this one also we had before I placed the order for the rest of the yarn.
Yeah.
And then I didn't take everything out of inventory, and then somebody came in one day and bought like 5 skeins of one of them. And so when I thought I had enough for 10 kits of one of the minis, no, so we had fewer of this one, but we can get more.
Mateals.
Yup. So this is the lightest color is Hepburn.
I love
which
that
is
Hepburn.
such a great. It's like very, very Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like wisp of light blue. translation, and that's what the one that somebody bought a whole ton of.
It's a beautiful blue.
It's a great blue. Yeah, I'm not a blue person, and I love that blue.
Yeah.
And then Misfortune is the deepest one.
I love that Misfortune.
So I think this would be, if you're a blue person, this would be a gorgeous, gorgeous set. And who knows, even if we can get it, what I'll probably do is ask Amanda to put up the other ones as pre-orders. Maybe we'll make some kind of note of
That's a great idea.
And we did have a note actually too. We had a couple of people so eager, like they called yesterday morning as soon as the store opened to ask if their kits were ready yet. And I said we're winding all of them as we get the orders. So it is taking an extra couple of days, but the knit along doesn't start till April 4th.
Yes.
So there is plenty of time.
So guys, if you want it, order it. There's plenty of time to ship. And also the knit along goes from April 4th through
actually, I have a call with Natalie this afternoon. It's probably going to be May 26th or 27th.
Okay.
We had originally said the 31st, but then she reminded me we agreed to avoid Memorial Day weekend. We want to do
Memorial Day
concluding event. So it's very late May. Very, very late May.
But it's a good 2-month knit along.
Yeah,
so even
absolutely.
if you start a little bit late, or if you can't make a decision, like I'm not going to make a decision about what I'm going to do until probably last minute. Partially because I want to make sure that like everybody who's doing it who wants to ship, like they can pick what they want, and also because I can't make a decision. Realistically, it's because I can't make a decision.
They're all
Like,
pretty. I could see the blues on you totally.
I can see the blues. I have a lot of blue shawls.
But you love this.
Yeah, I do love.
Yeah, I think that would look really nice
romantic.
on you too.
I have a lot of teal blue shawls.
Yeah, so that kind of makes sense to not duplicate exactly what you have. And that's one interesting thing about all of these. I mean, like I said, that one I'm definitely making as the store sample.
I do kind of love this though.
It is really fun. It's very, very fun. It's very springy and summery.
It's a very springy one.
But this is the one I'm like dying to start for myself. I have the yarn at home now.
Yeah.
I brought it home yesterday.
Smart. Well, I mean, and that's the thing where, like, on all else fails, what I may do if I can't make a decision, and depending on what's left right before the start, like, I may just make my own kits.
Exactly. And, as we said earlier,
I'm looking at the Tash Marina light over there.
Yeah, we're happy to help you put together your own kit, too. One of the first people that came in after it was in the newsletter the first time, she saw some of her pictures. She's like, those are all nice, but I really want something that's just for me.
Right.
And we're always happy to help with that.
And also, like, if you're like, oh, I love that whiskey barrel, but I want that as the main color, and I want to mix it with something else and something else.
Yeah,
like
we can do that.
We
totally can do that. Though then it's harder to split the skeins. I mean,
that's the thing. We won't necessarily be able to split the skeins, but like, I mean, this is the thing for me is that I'm fine with leftovers.
Exactly. Well, there is a note also on the order page for this. It says if you want a kit of full skeins, just let us know, because that is totally possible.
We can do that.
That's one of the reasons we're not splitting them till they're ordered. Because the other thing, and maybe I will even ask Amanda, or I think I can even change this on the website. There are some things I can do on the website. There are some things I'm afraid of doing on the website because I don't want to destroy it.
Just in case it breaks.
Just in case I break it completely. But basically, one of the reasons that this takes long is that we want to send them to you and have them look really pretty, so that if you want to take a picture to like put it in your project or something, that you've got something that looks really nice. And I don't have any of them here. When we wind them, what we do is we wind up with a couple that are caked, and then because we split, we weigh the skein, we wind off, we know how many rotations of the winder it takes to do half of that amount. So then we've got a cake, and what's left we go ahead and make into this beautiful little skein. But then we've got to reskein the cakes.
Yes.
If you don't care that it looks like this and you're fine with the cake, which actually saves you time, put that in your order notes, and we will just send you.
I'm cool with cakes.
Cakes are good.
Cakes are good.
I like cakes
because then you don't. I mean, we had.
Well, also it takes a lot of the people who bought them in store were like, when they saw what we were doing,
them caked.
They're like, leave them caked. You're saving me time. So that's totally fine. If you want it as a cake, we will save you the time and
the
save us the
packaging
time.
is pretty.
Yeah.
But also, you don't need to. If you don't care if the packaging is pretty, well, cake it.
Well, the other thing too, I am going to put these up on Instagram later in the week. You can screenshot our kits and use that as your picture if you want to have a pretty picture of the cake.
That is totally fine too.
Yeah, I think that's totally good. So,
repost from Insta.
Yep.
There we go.
So that is our new in store. And was there something else we? Oh yes, we have one.
Oh, and we have another new in store, which is really pretty.
And actually, more since then.
I'm sure there's been more orders, which is great. We love it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. And also, like, this is such a fun thing. I love the, we love Knitty Natty.
She's so sweet.
Love the Love and Stitches podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's such a doll. And, like, I feel like this is such a great idea to, like, shine a light on a pattern designer who might not otherwise have gotten, like, a lot of traction for a pattern. Because there are so many patterns published that are just stunning.
That are really nice. And just, for whatever reason, either the time they came out or just, who knows. The other thing, actually, we are going to do, and I have to let me make a note when we talk today. We've talked about doing some like honorable mentions because there were so many nice patterns that, even to move on to the final 5, we wanted them to be accessible to a lot of people, and some of them were just more complicated, and we wanted it to be something that could be done in about 7 or 8 weeks.
Right.
So that's another thing. Some of them, there was one beautiful one that as we looked at the pattern, we realized it would just take so long that it unfortunately it made it not as feasible for this.
But that doesn't mean you can't still do it.
Exactly. So we are going to do those honorable mentions to she's got such an amazing platform, and she's so willing to share it with others, which is just lovely.
Which is so great.
And
we love that.
Yeah. So we'll share too, but her sharing, hits even more people, and we're really excited for everybody. Different.
Yeah,
exactly.
Things. So let's talk about the other new in store, which is
the other new in store is a new Woolfolk yarn, and it is called Fleck. It's so funny because one of their yarns is Flet. Flet is the boucle, but Fleck is
Tweeties.
A sport weight, so soft. This is just, it's just so amazingly soft.
Right? It's like you pick it up and it's like a kitten.
Yep.
Like a tweety, gorgeous,
without making me sneeze.
Non-allergic kitten.
So, as our social media person put, it is 90% of Ovis 21 Ultimate Merino, which is partly why all of their yarns are so delicious.
Gorgeous.
It really is softer than most other yarn can be.
I think it's softer than a lot of cashmere.
I know, honestly. It's beautiful. And so Woolfolk, can we switch just because I love this one?
I was going to say, I'm like, I actually prefer this palette.
There you go. And I love this. I would totally make something out of this. As I said, it's a sport weight. They're $20 a skein and 160 yards of sport. They're started with 5 colors. Definitely the Woolfolk palette. You've got your white, you've got your light tan, you've got your slightly gold, you've got your brown, you've got your black, basically. Take a look on Instagram at some of the patterns that they put together for this.
Beautiful.
There is one that is similar to the sweater you're doing, but in a sport weight. It is just to die for. So beautiful.
It's just such a nice, like, classic run of neutrals. The tweed, because this is the thing, you think of tweed and you think it's got like a little bit of rustic to it. The same with Lucky Tweed, where you feel like you look at Lucky Tweed and you're like, oh, maybe that feels rustic. It doesn't. It feels buttery.
It certainly doesn't.
This is like it's a
kitten.
It's a kitten.
It's a baby kitten.
It's a baby kitten.
So
without the claws.
Exactly. So
I love this.
I think it would be beautiful for accessories too. I mean, for a sweater, it might be a bit of a reach for a lot of folks, but I would totally see making some fingerless mitts out of this. Would be just amazing,
stunning,
so
and like cables would look beautiful in this. Yeah. Honestly, you could do a Prosecco in this.
Yeah, that would be so pretty,
so gorgeous, and you could probably get maybe 2 out of it, depending.
Or you could, I would think so, because it's because of the yardage,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's similar to far.
But it's just, this is the kind of yarn you just want to like. Yeah, so the Woolfolk Fleck, F-L-E-C-K, and you can check it out. It's available online and in store.
Yep.
We love the Woolfolk. I mean, this is the kind of yarn where I feel like if you're making something special for yourself, this is what you want, right? Even just a little small thingy.
Yep.
It's a great option. What else we got? Like arranging the color palettes.
They're so pretty. They're so pretty.
We're just gonna sit there and pet them. So, do we have anything else?
I think that's it.
I think that might be it.
I think that kind of is it.
Yeah. So we missed Amanda.
Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
We love hanging out with you guys. We love getting your comments. Don't forget to comment and post your favorite meal planning tips to organize my chaos.
Give us all inspiration. And I do love
really give Jonathan a break. He would appreciate your comments and tips below.
I love how to readers help other readers and watchers help other watchers.
Totally.
Absolutely. And people be like, oh, I do that too, but I do it this way or whatever.
Yeah, here's a little thing. Like I always love learning that stuff. And I love learning it from folks, right? Like I feel like it's such a great thing. So don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Hit the little alarm bell. You get notifications, especially for our non-regular podcasts, like when we have little special editions.
And Amanda actually did do an interview last weekend with someone who,
awesome.
One of our former really regular customers who moved to Pennsylvania, about tips for entering things in state fairs, which is so interesting.
So cool.
Yeah. So Amanda will be getting that edited, and you'll be hearing more about that soon.
So if you click the alarm bell, you'll get a notification.
Then you'll know
for it.
Exactly. You'll know when it.
And we'll also share it on our social media. So follow us there. We're Shop Yarnia at Instagram, Facebook, and our website is shopyarnia.com. You can sign up for our newsletter if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then type in
any
your
of our
email
pages,
address, any of the pages
on our website.
And don't forget to check out Knitty Natty 11 Stitches, and
you'll be hearing more about the knit along soon.
Yeah. So cool.
So that's it.
So thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.